Coming up next, we're learning more details tonight about the discovery of a missing 14-year-old girl in the barracks at Camp Pendleton.
They're protesting to support fellow UCSD students arrested and charged with vandalism, but when they got to court, a twist.
There's a new system in place, how you can help spot wildfires.
And we revisit the Cedar Fire, a day when my wife Heather and photojournalist Scott Hall were on the front lines and at one point had to run.
And is lab-grown chicken already being sold in stores? We verify. CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts now.
A Camp Pendleton Marine has been questioned and released to his command after a missing 14-year-old girl was found inside his barracks on base. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. The girl is now home with her family in Spring Valley. As CBS 8's David Gottfredson reports, the teenager's aunt is now speaking out on social media, saying her niece was sold to the soldier for sex.
She was found in the barracks by military police. She had been sold to a soldier for sex. The military is trying to cover it up.
Cassandra Perez took to social media last week announcing her missing 14-year-old niece who has learning disabilities was found inside a Marine barracks at Camp Pendleton.
The security looked her in the face and allowed this man to bring a minor onto base, where he then proceeded to have sex with her.
The teenager went missing on June 10th from her home in Spring Valley. The girl's grandmother told the sheriff's department the teenager had run away from home before, but had always returned home quickly. A Camp Pendleton spokesperson confirmed the authenticity of a leaked photo showing a Marine being arrested on base after the teenager was found in the barracks on June 28th. So far, though, nobody has been charged with a crime. A Marine with Combat Logistics Battalion 5, 1st Marine Logistics Group, was taken into custody for questioning. The Marine was questioned by NCIS and released to his command pending further investigation, according to a U.S. Marine spokesperson, Captain Charles Palmer. Over the weekend, the aunt posted an update online saying the family was doing okay, but they are calling for transparency in the investigation.
I will not rest until the whole world knows, and those responsible are held accountable and justice is served.
David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
All right, David, thanks. 3 UC San Diego students charged with vandalism on school property thought they were going to face a judge today, but that hearing didn't happen.
They say the charges are nothing more than an attempt to intimidate them and fellow union members who have been protesting against the university. They claim the university isn't honoring the terms of a deal they made last year.
CBS State's Steve Price joins us live now from UC San Diego Scripps Institution of Oceanography with the details. Steve?
Yeah, Marcella and Carlo, these students were using sidewalk chalk to draw on the side of that new building, and they did it to coincide with a grand opening party that was scheduled there. But the university says it was a very expensive act of vandalism. Drop the charges, drop the charges. Protesting outside the county courthouse to support 2 current UCSD students and a recent graduate who now face felony charges.
On Thursday, June 29th, 2 Scripps colleagues and I were arrested just outside our homes by UCPD and jailed overnight on allegations of felony vandalism and conspiracy. Jessica Ng, a postdoctoral researcher, and her colleagues were protesting May 30th outside UCSD's new Marine Conservation and Technology facility. They say the university hasn't been honoring the terms of their new contract, so with sidewalk chalk, they wrote "Fair Wages Now." A month later, they were arrested.
2 felony charges for writing with sidewalk chalk on campus. That is not rational behavior. That is an abuse of power. That's intimidation, and it's designed to silence us and scare us. Are we going to let them silence and scare us? No! The university released a statement saying the chalk caused damage that cost more than $12,000 to repair, adding the vandals used materials that defaced the walls of the new facility, and those materials seeped into the concrete. The concrete had been specially treated to withstand the marine environment and had to be professionally repaired.
UCSD! Chalk is not a felony!
The protesters held their rally outside the county courthouse Monday afternoon because the 3 people charged were scheduled to have their arraignment after lunch. But the district attorney's office says UC police didn't file the necessary paperwork, so that arraignment didn't happen. So I went ahead and emailed UCSD to ask why that paperwork wasn't filed, but Marcella and Carla, I still have not heard back from the university on that.
Steve, why are they charged with felony vandalism instead of maybe a misdemeanor?
Yeah, that's a good question, because the students say we were just using sidewalk chalk that kids use all the time on the sidewalk. But the university says because of what happened, the damage was more than $400. And so that's what elevated it from a misdemeanor up to a felony.
All right, we'll have to see what happens in this case. Thanks so much, Steve. Temperatures are climbing this week, and that's making the likelihood of brush fires even greater. This afternoon, firefighters made quick work of a brush fire that was moving towards some homes in Lakeside. This was on Sierra Alta Way near the Alta Vista View Mobile Home Park. Cal Fire and Heartland fire crews were able to stop the spread just past an acre burn. Unfortunately, those flames did not reach those mobile homes.
An excessive heat warning starts tomorrow for our mountain and desert areas. Forest officials closed some hiking trails this week as a precaution. San Diego River Gorge, Cedar Creek Falls, Three Sisters Falls, and Eagle Peak trails are closed through the weekend. If you do go outside, especially for a hike, officials say it's best to go out in the morning or late afternoon. Also, make sure to dress appropriately, drink a lot of water, and wear light clothes and sunscreen.
Warming up, especially later in the week.
Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis is here with your early microclimate forecast today, Carlene. And you told us last week this heat up was coming, so I'm ready.
Are you ready, Marcella?
I sure am.
Carlo's ready. I'm ready. I'm a hiker, but you will not see me out there this week.
Not this week.
No, not at all. That heat is dangerous, and heat-related illnesses are actually the #1 weather killer in the country. So we really have to be careful when it does come to this heat this week. Taking a look at how we shaped up with our daytime highs, we had the 70s right along the coast today. You had some 90s that were popping up for Escondido, the same for Valley Center, 94 degrees today for Ramona, also in the 90s for Alpine as well as for Campo. Unfortunately, we didn't get some afternoon readings for the weather stations in La Mesa as well as for El Cajon, but hopefully having that tomorrow and throughout the week so we can monitor the heat in those areas. By tomorrow, looking at 90 degrees for El Cajon, also talking about the low 90s for Escondido as well as for Valley Center, and pretty mild right along the coast. Most of the heat is going to be across inland areas, and most areas west of the mountains are going to be a few degrees above seasonal, but the big impact is going to be the mountains and the desert. You're talking up to 103 for the mountains, 115 to 120 for daytime highs, and the peak of that is going to be this weekend. So we'll go ahead and take a look at your complete forecast coming up. Marcella?
Thanks, Carlene. 2 rural water districts in North County can now leave the San Diego County Water Authority to potentially secure cheaper water for its farmers. The Fallbrook Public Utility District and the Rainbow Municipal Water District both want to join the Eastern Municipal Water District up in Riverside County. Today, the San Diego County Local Area Formation Commission voted 5-3 in favor of the proposal. It's unclear when the 2 districts will make the switch. The switch could impact the rest of the customers, though, left in the San Diego County Water District. And new tonight at 10 and 11, we'll explore the impact of that.
Governor Gavin Newsom signed his big infrastructure package into law this afternoon. The goal is to streamline environmental permitting in order to build major projects faster in California. Our political reporter Morgan Reiner has more tonight on the role this played in the overall state budget.
The governor added in this infrastructure package into the overall budget near the end of the process. It's the reason why it took a while to come to an agreement with lawmakers on the budget. Newsom was asked about this strategy, throwing big policy proposals in at the last minute at today's press conference.
Governor Gavin Newsom unveiled a plan in May to overhaul the state's environmental permitting process known as the California Environmental Quality Act, or CEQA. The budget needed to pass the following month in June.
The process is always tough, and I recognize I don't necessarily always make it easy.
Some criticize the governor for the late proposal.
I don't have that many summers left as governor, and I don't want to dream of regretting Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Some were concerned that this proposal would streamline a very controversial water project known as the Delta Tunnel. The governor agreed to take that out.
I've got a team that's assembled directly to work on it. We're going to see that through.
And Monday, the governor officially signed the package into law.
Hell of a job, everybody. You're here. Pass these out.
The final package was bipartisan. Assembly Republican leader James Gallagher sent out a statement saying, "I'm tired of watching infrastructure projects like Sites Reservoir get tied up for years, while Californians are left to suffer the consequences. For years, Republicans have been trying to cut red tape that holds up these critical projects. I'm glad Governor Newsom and our Democratic colleagues have finally joined us."
The only criticism Republicans had left was that this huge package did not include streamlined permitting for housing projects, which are also often held up because of CEQA. And we know California has a housing shortage.
Thanks, Morgan. Still ahead, lab-grown chicken has been approved for public use, but is it already in stores? Verify.
Plus, you're running out of time if you want a chance at the $675 million jackpot tonight. Only about 50 minutes left.
Wildfire season is year-round, and Alert California is looking for citizen scientists. I'm Sean Stiles. I'll tell you how you can help coming up in an Earth 8 report.